Hello and welcome, brothers and sisters of the multiverse. Today I want to talk about how I see consciousness as fundamental. When I was 19, I had an NDE, or so-called near-death experience. And ever since, I tried to explain what I experienced. So I went all over the place, from all kinds of religious books and texts, and up to quantum physics and string theories and all of that. The whole spectrum. Over biology, of course, also, and psychology, and all of that. The official narratives, let's say, never did it quite justice, or left things out, or interpret things where you see exactly they're playing it too safe for their careers or something. But if you're objective and not paid by a certain company to see things a certain way, right? Or an institution or whatever, government, you're much more likely to also be more objective to the conclusions you come across. And there are parallels everywhere that lead to so-called reality, in which we bathe. Why are DMT experiences, for example, or Mama Aya sessions, ayahuasca, right? And dreams and near-death experiences somewhat similar. I mean, okay, ayahuasca and our dreams, I don't know if there are studies on that, I have to look it up, but our brains produce naturally DMT. And that could be the case which enables us to dream. And it's not random, it's personalized. In dreams, most of us are not lucidly dreaming, so it's mostly our thoughts or our hopes or our fears that shape the changes in our dreams. In ayahuasca trips, what I hear is similar in a way that what we think of or feel like or suppress, or that all also shapes our experience. Another thing is the Icarus that they sing. They induce also a big part of what we see and experience. How do we explain even that little part? How does sound and vibrations and frequencies and all of that shape what we experience, even if we don't think anything at all, because all is energy and vibration and frequencies. We know that now. It's finally confirmed by so many scientists. I mean, we know now also space-time is not fundamental and matter is not fundamental. Even though many of our institutions and still are operating on that premises. Biology, chemistry, healthcare. It's all still not even trying to catch up. And it's sad. I hope you don't mind, I made notes. So for example, the Vedic dances, dance of Shiva. In Hindu metaphysics, Shiva Nataraya, Lord's of Dance, performs the Ananda Tandava, the cosmic dance of creation, preservation and dissolution. Every gesture and movement encodes a principle of reality. One hand holds the fire, this destruction, another the drum, creation through vibration, another offers protection, and another points to liberation. The drumbeat is the primal vibration, Sabda Brahman, the word. Familiar? The word, the first oscillation through which the cosmos emanates. In this symbolism, reality is rhythmic, born of frequency, sustained by resonance, and dissolved by silence. The parallels with Aboriginal songlines those drum beats of Shiva, for example. Different cultures, same recognition. Vibration as creative substrate. The Aborigines had that saying, dream the dreamer into existence, or something like that. When we are dreaming, most of us are not even aware that it's a dream, and we perceive it as real. Just as most of us perceive this life, this reality as real. Even though, I mean, we perceive so much matter, just look around, you know. And there is no matter. There is just energy. 99.99% empty space. We never touch anything. The electromagnetic forces are much too strong. And only those energies give us the tactile sensation of touch. Think about it. That's wild in itself, right? You never touched anything, not even yourself. In a way, it's true, right? I mean, this so-called world, this reality, it seems so real. We can burn our hands in the fire and cool them off in water. And all of that. The smells, the touches, the sounds and light. Even though we perceive 0.005% of the light spectrum or something. And just as little sound regarding frequencies. Some people have more, some less. But what Dr. Yogi Handlin beautifully said, we all the creatures on this planet have different abilities to perceive this reality. Some creatures see through sound, like bats or something. Snakes see temperature of creatures and stuff like that. It's crazy. Cats and such see at night. But we all have, you can kind of make Venn diagrams of intersecting perceived realities of all the different species. Every creature has only a part of it. And we are also perceiving only a tiny part of it. Not even to talk about premonition. Even the finest instruments can't detect seismic activities, for example. But creatures like elephants know it hours before it happened. Yeah, I mean, to say, I don't believe what I see, it's still kind of that mindset for many people. Even though everyone believes in Wi-Fi, right? Even though you just don't see the data flowing through air, right? But still that mindset is sadly still prevailing. But I digress. Let's take this example of Sanskrit and sonic technology. In Vedic tradition, sound is not a metaphor, but the actual causal layer of existence. A causal layer of existence. The saying is, in the beginning was Om, the primordial sound representing creation. A, maintenance, U, creation is A, maintenance is U, and dissolution is M, Om. Chanted mantras are considered resonant codes that align consciousness with those cosmic frequencies. The ritual dances were embodied geometry, translating those frequencies into kinetic mandalas. Chimerica, if you're familiar with that. So the parallels with the ayahuasca or DMT geometry experiences, the self-organizing patterns of light and movement. It's like consciousness watching itself vibrate into structure. I remember Terence McKenna speaking about those machine-like elves that spoke things into existence, and depending on what kind of sounds they make, the different shapes of that objects appear. I mean, that's far out there, but the commonalities are there everywhere. In the beginning was sound. In the beginning was the word. Christianity also, it starts with that. The beginning was the word. Right? It's everywhere once you see it. So, point 3, vibration and consciousness. The Upanishads describe Brahman, the absolute, as spanda, literally vibration or drop. Kashmir Shaivism expands this. The universe is the pulsation, spanda, of pure consciousness, an infinite stillness that appears as motion. Existence is therefore the dance of awareness or consciousness upon its own still surface. Right? And in the string theory, there was also this, or is, I don't know if they continue that, this notion of frequency and vibration and alignment and self-organization, right? So it's the dance of cosmological process, let's say. Every sacred Vedic dance, whether Bharatanatyam or Odissi, reenacts this. Invocation in the stillness before motion, the so-called unmanifested potential, gesture, vibration begins, and so-called space-time emerges. Sequence, rhythm forms, matter, life, mind. Resolution, return to stillness. Reabsorption into Brahman. So the null state again. As long as the song plays, let's say, there is something which is created by it. And you can also connect this with those yuga cycles, right? Creation, destruction, renewal, and all of that. It's all the same stuff, just in different metaphors and languages. So I'll show you the little table. So we have the perspectives, core metaphors, and how it manifests in reality. In the Aboriginal songlines, the resonant dream. Vedics, dance and sound, pulsation of Brahman. DMT and NDE, geometry frequency, manifests as consciousness, self-modulating. Quantum reality, wave function, probability, vibration. Analytic idealism, field of awareness, consciousness, mind dreaming itself. All of this is the same thing, right? Or we can see it through the different domains, through expressions and meaning. From the Christian ones, the beginning was the word, logos, right? Creation, spoken vibration, creating patterns. Vedics, Om, Nada Brahma, the world is sound. Everything arises from cosmic resonance. Aboriginals, Dreamtime, songlines. The world is sung into being. Egyptian speaks creation. Sound gives shape to matter. Greek and Stoic, the Logos, universal order. Harmonic intelligence, structure, chaos. The Kabbalistic, 10 utterances, Sephiroth, emanations, frequencies of creation. So, again, scientific parallels, quantum fields. Everything is oscillation, particles, standing waves. Cymatics, kinematics, mathematica. Sound creates visible pattern in matter. In neuroscience, brain synchrony, patterns of oscillating frequencies, theta, gamma, beta, delta, whatever, all of those. Also different frequencies, different lengths of those oscillations, right, of energy, different frequencies. It's everywhere. In consciousness theory, consciousness is the field generating experience through vibration. Many talk about that nowadays. Donald Hoffman, Leonardo Kastrup, and such were brave enough to speak outside the mainstream shell of what they want to keep as core beliefs. Right? So in summary, before matter there is pattern. Before pattern there is sound. Before sound there is consciousness. It's the baseline. I know it always begs the next question. Where does that consciousness then come from, right? Who knows? Anyone who claims to know very probably wrong. I mean, people can't even, or in this state, in this limited state of currently being human, with these puny little brains, we can't, most of us can't even imagine one eternity. Our brains would shatter. Just one. One has to be McLaughlin or something to imagine infinite infinities beyond that. Right. We can only speculate. But there are also those ideas that time itself doesn't exist, right? It all that is also hard to imagine. This word always, it has always been there, like in the Möbius rift, right? It just repeats in cycles. But what created that, right? Forget it to ever find out. I mean, that's as far as we can go for now. Doesn't anyone find that curious? And then there are people that split religions into sects because the ones interpret one sentence different than another. Come on. It's all the same language. All religions. And it also comes down to the basic unifying golden rule in all of them. Just, be a good person. Just be stoic in the sense that be brave, be courageous, be honest, be disciplined, humble, be, not only self-serving and all of that. I mean, you're all in the same boat. All of it, all the different schools. And if psychologists would take the status quo of the world and filter it through all that prevails in the world that is contrary to that golden rule, they would see a direct correlation to all the mental health issues that people have. Maybe through second and third and fourth and fifth order effects, but yes. I mean, the overall formula, if you will, it's actually quite easy. The brain is good if it's used in the right way, and if the corpus callosum is slightly more trained. But what's more important is the heart. It knows better treat each other and other species and the planet as a whole. Because yes, Gaia is alive. Get over it. It's proven ever more. Look at just how even plants and trees communicate. I mentioned that also in one of my videos. Through air, with chemicals, and through roots and the mycelial network underground, through electric impulses or such. I mean, and we are part of that. We are part. We are not apart. We are part of that whole. Momentarily, temporarily, on this planet as human beings. Every breath of ours, every of the billions and trillions of microbes on and in us, we all influence our, what Dr. Yogi said, our Umwelt. Only eyes and ears and all the other primitive five senses can tell us that we're separate from anything else. But the whole is one. That field of consciousness that is everywhere, even in a stool or a table. Lower levels of consciousness and self-awareness, yes. There are all kinds of different levels and level types and of such, but still baseline is the same. Baseline is the same of a stool and us, or a table and us. That's the bias before even the main software of us. You know, was it in Japan, I think, that some doctors prescribe patients to just go into the woods and lay down for a few minutes on the earth to truly ground themselves and feel themselves again. That's more therapeutic than anything I heard about my whole life. You know, that's the core of something that we may not even have the words for, or the right scientific empiric studies but it is, even though it's not measurable, it's visible, the effects. There are also those healers through sound and vibration. One just lays down on a table or something, and others have their instruments and then chimes and bowls and all of that. It's much more effective than scalpels or leeches. I mean, but otherwise, the whole multi-trillion-dollar pharma industry could just shut down yesterday. That's why it's so suppressed. But it's known. It's confirmed. It's proven. It's proven. Whatever someone wants to say about it, or however someone wants to choose to put it. And our feelings create vibration. In certain frequencies. And we operate depending on how we feel on different frequencies. That's all that stuff with chakra activation and or kundalini and all of that, right? Stress is the killer number one for that. Stress and fear. Fear and stress. And in today's world, %98 or so of stress and fear is utterly unnecessary. It's created out of willful ignorance or the lack of mental capacity or wrong metrics of competencies to certain jobs and positions. Almost all of it is avoidable, except for higher powers. But just having the awareness of that, of all of that, and maybe, just maybe, looking at the world through that lens, at least for a while, gives you a pretty good idea how there would have to be some changes around here. Just a little. Love you, brothers and sisters.